Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we'll talk about Inmode after the stock went up 20% after recording some preliminary Q3 earnings that were absolutely fantastic. So we'll be taking a look into them. Now, before I get onto the video, I think some of you guys might ask me about Hollywood Ball's earnings. At the moment, they aren't out. I'm recording this at 6:30 in the morning of the day of reporting earnings, well, today. So they're not exactly out just yet, so I'm kind of thought, what can I do? I'll record today's video and then see where earnings are at. So if you guys are commenting about Hollywood Ball earnings, I'll try to do a video in the future about them. But like I say, as I'm recording this, they aren't just out yet. And I do kind of expect them to move markets a bit because they haven't reported anything for about 6 months now. And yeah, I think they could be a little bit ugly because there's, not for the bowling alleys, there's not been any revenue for the last, I think they only had 1.5 months of revenue, so it's definitely not going to be a pretty picture, and I think investors will be a little bit of weak hands out there. So we'll see what happens anyway, because by the time this video goes up, you guys will know what's happened. So yeah, I might talk about that in the future depending on what happens. But today we're going to be talking about Inmode, which kind of took us by surprise because, like I say, they brought out these early earnings, and when companies do this, it's normally a sign of it's preparing investors to go, these are going to be really bad. This is what's going to happen. So that's one case that happens. Or the other case, which was what Inmode had, is they bring them out and go, look how well we did. So it's a little bit of showing off from the company. And that's what Inmode did. They came out and said, look, this is how good our earnings are going to be. And we'll get the actual full earnings on November the 12th, I believe it is. And we'll kind of get the conference call and everything like that. But just before that, this is what Inmode kind of did to show off and look, this is how well we did this last quarter, especially when you think, well, it was kind of shut down. Last quarter was still pretty decent, and 2 months of it was pretty much shut down, and all the revenue kind of came from June. This quarter we had full 3 months of revenue, profit, and look at what the company did, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we'll get stuck into these numbers because, like I say, they were absolutely amazing. And how well Inmode did to beat these kind of earnings. I'd say though, if you do your full research into a company, then you will probably have known this was going to happen. If you listen to the earnings call from the last quarter, there was a few signs there. Management was on the conference call saying, look, June was absolutely fantastic, and most of our revenue and profit, or what we made, did come from June, nothing from the other 2 months. And if we carry on, which at the moment we are doing this for the next 3 months, it's going to be a fantastic 3 months. So the management actually kind of suggested this in the conference call, and if you do your full research into your company, like I did with this one, I always try to do my full research into the companies when I listen to the conference call, and I didn't expect the stock to be as up as much as what it is. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I don't really, when I buy stocks, I don't expect them to do anything for kind of a year, but this company's up massive at the moment. I think I'm up 40% or something on this position. But when you listen to the conference call, I was listening to it and I was like, this is great. Like, that quarter they just did was fantastic. And like I say, you got a hint from the management team in the conference call that this quarter was going to be amazing. And there we go, they delivered on it. So if you do your full research, this kind of earnings wasn't a shock to you because, like I say, management hinted away at it. And if you do your full research into your company, this is when you can pick gems up, listening to them sort of conference calls and hearing these sort of things. So this is what you know what's going to happen. This is something similar like with Gang. Gang was saying about how good their November's going to be when they get the Michigan launch. Them little things like that, when you listen to the conference calls, you pick these little things up that really help you as an investor. Now, I've got to say, I didn't actually realise how big of a position Inmode was for me. When I bought it, I bought quite heavy because I knew the stock wasn't going to be at these prices for long. At the same time, I was kind of hoping it does stay down a little bit so I can make it a massive position. But I actually thought Inmode was like my fourth or fifth biggest position. It actually turns out it's my second biggest position in the stock market right now. Yeah, so like it's Facebook at the moment, because obviously I trimmed Microsoft, which was my biggest. It's Facebook, now Inmode, because of the share price gain as well has helped it go into second place. And then it's Visa, Microsoft and Alibaba. So I actually didn't realise this is my second biggest position that I'm talking about. It's just slightly increasing up there. I hardly really look at my portfolio. Sometimes I think some of the newer guys get a bit tense, like looking at the portfolio every hour, maybe quite a few times a day. I literally leave my portfolio, I hardly look at it. I kind of go on it maybe once a week, just see what everything's doing, and even then I don't really do a proper look because when I'm buying stuff for 2 years, I'm not really bothered what happens in a week or a month. I'm thinking about 2 years down the line, and even though these are amazing gains right now, like, I'm nowhere near done with Inmode. I think like the growth they're having in the next 2 years is still going to be fantastic. But yeah, fantastic results from Inmode, and we'll take a look. So like I said, the share price did go up 20% and then it did pull back, but it's trading about the $40 range right now, which is great. Massive, great run so far this year. And it came out, and I won't read the full statement, but from what was released from Inmode was that there was record revenues for the third quarter in 2020 in the range of 59 million to 59.5 billion. Non-GAAP earnings per diluted share for the third quarter in the range of $60 cents to 62 cents. Revenue for the full year of 2020 in the range of 192 million to 195 million. And then also gross margin, which I just thought could not grow anymore, went from 84% to 86%. Like, literally, is that actually going to get to 100%? It's just insane. So yeah, amazing. Revenue beat. It had earnings beat. Revenue range was increased as well, and like say margins, like it's like the perfect earnings. Like, it's a 10 out of 10 earnings from Inmode right there. And just to kind of put that into context, like what was kind of expected here. So on the EPS front, we can see it was going to be about 0.60 or 0.62, and they were kind of expected to do 0.31. So it's like a 100% EPS beat, which is insane. And then from the revenue point of view, it was 59 million-ish. That's somewhere where we kind of expect it to be in. And the actual forecast for this one was going to be 38 million. So once again, predicted to do 38 million, and they come out with an absolute insane revenue beat. That's a fair. I can't do my maths quickly enough to work that one out, but I think that must be about something like 80% revenue beat. Absolutely nuts, absolutely nuts. And even on like the forecast for the year results, that's insane. Like, they're expecting now to do about 190 million by this year, and previously they thought they were going to do 159 million. So it's like a 20% beat on revenue for the forecast for this year. One of the crazy things is that I think Q4 could be even better. That's the crazy thing. Q4 could be even better, that they beat them results by even more next time. So fantastic as a shareholder from this company. 10 out of 10 earnings. Deserved the video as now it's because it's my second biggest position. I got to kind of do this, and sometimes these videos when I talk about stocks I own don't do as well as when I'm talking like free stocks to buy, free stocks to do this or that. When I actually talk about stocks I own, especially smaller companies that aren't well known like this, the views are absolutely rubbish. But I know some of you guys are shareholders, some of you guys like me talking about some of these companies, and I like to talk about these companies because they're big positions in my portfolio. So every so often I do like doing these, and especially in a day like this where your stock your own has done amazing earnings, it's up 20%. I think it deserves this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little mini update on Inmode and them fantastic earnings. As always guys, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you in the next video.